Hey everyone, welcome to Verbal Tea, the Journaling podcast, where we focus more on our own inner voices than the voices of those around us. Each week, we explore topics through journal entries with prompts that me, your host, Globe, writes for our guests. Today, we are covering community. And this is, you guys, this is such an important topic for me. To me, this is like the top tier final level of relationship. So I'm so excited to explore this topic. And I've got some heavy hitters, all heavy hitters, on the show with us today. The first guest I have is author Nikki Nicole. She's an author, per her name, and she's also the host of the Breaking the Silence podcast, where she helps other people unleash their inner voices and highlights amazing professionals in the community and gets them out there, because without her, sometimes those people don't have a platform to share about themselves. So I'm so happy to introduce Nikki Nicole.
Hey, Glow.
Hey, I'm so happy that you're here. And guess what, y'all? I got two more guests. This is a big tea party. The next guest I have with us today is the host of the Decree of Dominion podcast. And y'all, if you want to hear a tear jerking interview that makes you feel uplifted and powerful, this is the guy. Because y'all, I don't think there's any episode I've listened to that didn't make me cry. He is amazing. He values touching people's souls and uplifting people. And I'm so happy to have him on. I introduce to you Dark Law, or Darian Morris.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing out there? Verbal Tea?
Hey, welcome aboard. You guys, we got one more. One more. She is dope, okay? Dope in all caps. She is the host of the Mamba Raw and Unfiltered podcast, where the conversations are just so true in the world where everything is kind of like formatted and manufactured for you to just eat in a cute little box. She's like, let's strip, let's be real, and just have a real conversation. So every time you listen to her podcast or you read her blog, you feel like you are listening to friends every time, because they being that honest and real with you. I am so happy that she decided to join Verbal Tea for this topic. I introduce to you Black Mamba.
Hello. Hi, Kay. Hi, author Nikki Nicole, and hi,
Hello.
Darian.
How you
It's a
doing?
Hello. How
pleasure
are
to
you?
be here. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Kay.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's a tea party. I am so excited that everyone is here. I have known since the springtime, the panel I wanted. And it is such a blessing to see it come to fruition. Like, y'all,
No doubt.
I need a Twix, I need a moment, because this is such a big deal for me. We've been covering relationships all month, and you guys have all followed along on the different layers. And now we're getting into community with my community. All of the people here are a part of my podcasting community. So it's just very poetic that you all are here. And I'm so happy.
I am happy as well. I look, you ask me, I'm jumping. Rain, shine, snow, sickness, health. I am here today for you, for community.
Yeah, wonderful community it is, and the Verbal Tea and the tea lights that are listening and tuning in.
Tea lights. I
Tea
love
Absolutely.
lights, I love
it.
Tea lights. I
that.
like that.
The tea
Yes,
lights.
the
Oh, I
tea
like
lights.
that. That is good. I've been calling them tea party members, but tea lights is it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
cute.
tea lights.
It's
Tea
cute.
Party members says
I-
great K on the politics there. We
Look,
can give it a better taste than the Tea Party.
the the creativity stopped at the title, y'all.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I maxed out.
Definitely. Tea
Okay.
lights. Tea lights. I love that. Great job, Darian.
Thank
well,
you.
well, before we get into it, I ask everyone this. And so I'm going to ask each of you, and we'll go in the order that you were introduced, if y'all could remember that. I just want to ask everyone what their relationship is with journaling.
Well, journaling started when I was 5 years old, carrying around that book sack, that pencil and pen and notebooks in my bag. And I started writing about pretty much everything around me, whether it was a feeling of something I went through, whether it was absorbing life in general. I just wrote. I wrote poetry. I That led to me writing books. So
Mm.
that's where my relationship is with journaling.
And so my relationship with journaling, so I actually have it in my DNA. My mom was a famous poet in my hometown. She actually has poems published in books, but mine started around seventh grade. A lot of people don't know this, but I actually used to be a rapper. I used to write my own. I used to be in a rap group when I was in seventh grade called Young Saints, and so I used to write all the songs. I actually wrote over 30 songs that are hidden deep inside my Google Drive that'll never be exposed to the world. So, always just been putting my thoughts on paper or through my notepad on my phone. Every thought that comes to my head, I jot it down in my ink pad and kind of write on just different things through that.
That's so dope.
Mhm.
As for myself, journaling started at a very, very young age. I am a self-proclaimed bibliophile. You would think like Cat Williams, it wasn't unbelievable when he spoke about how many books he read in the Shannon Sharp, interview, the famous interview that he did. But yeah, I would read anywhere upwards to 3 books a day. But I sometimes, when I would go to the library, it would be like maxing out 10 books at a time. And so in between time, I would get upset when I read through them so fast, and my parents wouldn't take me back to the library again to get more books. So I just started, just writing my own. And like author Nikki Nicole, my thoughts, you should see, and you've seen them before, honey. I am writing notes on napkins, on receipts, on anything that I can get my hand on. So journaling started early for me when I was young. I just love to collect my thoughts, write them, and it's like I knew without knowing what I knew at the time about pushing pain into the pen. And so yeah, so I would say maybe 4th grade.
Wow, I love this. I'm excited to hear y'all entries now because you guys have all seasoned writers, all of you, seasoned journalers. That's so. Woof. I didn't know the history with Darion, so that's new. But hey, the spirit told me you should be on, and clearly that was for a reason. I am so excited
Mhm.
to get into this. Are y'all ready? Because I'm like an eager kid
I
right
am
now.
so ready. Yes, I can't
Ready.
wait. Let's unpack it, sis.
We are ready.
All right. Well, although author Nikki Nicole is a superstar and is on the mic, like at least 5 times a week, she was nervous about reading this intimate poem that she wrote.
Mm.
Um, like she said, a lot of her thoughts come out through poetry. So she asked me to read her poem. Y'all bear with me. Nikki, forgive me if my delivery isn't on point. And she wrote this about the Winner Circle community, which is a community she has been trying to build with podcasters, including us. So, Winner Circle community. My connection with the Winner Circle community is deep, but everything that is dear to my heart, I never keep. From day one, I felt an unbelievable connection, looking in the mirror and seeing my reflection. A circle of greatness and and positive vibes, a feeling I will never be able to describe. Never been a part of something that means so much to me. I know that may sound corny, but they are family to me.
Mm.
Brothers and sisters I have never had, they all have a part of me that cannot be denied. No matter what we go through, I will stand by them in the sunshine, burning up, in the rain, in the storms getting wet up. The meaning of village and community has disappeared over the years, but I am grateful to be part of a circle, cheers for me when I do great things, cries with me when I am falling apart, supports me on every set. It feels good to know the village still exists. And because of this, I will continue to move with purpose, break the silence with actions and words, build a community of winners, even in the moments of weakness.
Mm.
I will let my words continue to be heard even when my vision is blurred. We are winners in my eyes, and though the adversities, we will still rise.
Mm. Look at you over there, poet Nikki Nicole.
Yes.
You gonna have
Yes.
to look.
Thank
Time out for a second, author. Poet Nikki Nicole. That's what I'm talking about.
Jean
And you are
Oh,
Claude,
scared? I am just so surprised
the
because
Shakespeare.
you exude so much confidence on your platform from what I've seen so far when I've tapped into your content. I can imagine. And you support others who write and artists, especially spoken word artists, such as myself. Girl, that was a great poem.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for sharing
Thank
that
you.
with us.
Thank
Maybe
you.
next
That was
time I get to hear it
heartfelt.
in your words and your voice.
Absolutely. I might
Yeah.
read it on one of my episodes.
Okay.
it's a
Okay.
good
As
one.
you should. As you should.
Yes. Good job.
Ooh, that was so good. And I told you guys I wanted everybody to read theirs first before we discuss them. And this is why. This is why, because I'm already ready to just dig in.
Yes, right.
So I just
We
saw
we gonna spin the block.
there's some yummy mashed potatoes right there. I'm putting on the plate. Now,
Hey.
now Darian, or Darian, I'm sorry. Um, you wanted to share what you wrote as well, and so I'm gonna leave you the floor.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Globe, and the verbal tea and the tea lights that are listening and viewing. And so, Globe doesn't know this. Maybe only one other person in here knows this, but I actually wrote a short poem to go with
Mhm.
mine that I want to call out. And I want all the viewers and listeners to hear this because this goes right into community.
Mm.
And this allows society to rise up together. And so, please join me in this short excerpt. It says, I dwell in the darkness, I sleep in the light. Talk is cheap, silence is cheaper. The guardian is here. The prayers of the voiceless voice shall rise. The whispers are broken. And so
Mm.
I want everybody listening to just let that marinate.
Read it again, brother, please.
I'm going to read that one more time. I dwell in the darkness. I sleep in the light. Talk is cheap. Silence is cheaper. The guardian is here. The prayers of the voiceless voice shall rise. The whispers are broken.
Mm.
Mm,
Mm.
wow, I'm gonna
I was
need
too. Look, can I respond?
yes,
While
yes.
you process, let me go ahead and process. You know what? That's what I love about those quick line poems. The word choices, that
Mhm.
you painted a picture. And overall, my overall image that I saw in my head as I was taking in your work was being in the pit of darkness, hearing whispers, hearing lies, hearing the generational curses, hearing all the toxic things going on in that environment and how they have now been broken. How how Yah has come in and helped lifted you out of that darkness that you have no problem sleeping in. You know it as well, because within that darkness is where you need to be to do that work. You know, not only shadow work on yourself, but to help others that are in darkness. So sleeping in light is kind of like being recharged to me. Light is a natural energy drink. It's right there for us to soak in, giving us that good vitamin D for this beautiful melanin you have on display today. So I love that. Thank you. I would love to know your interpretation when you wrote it or what you were feeling when you wrote it.
Awesome, awesome. And so I actually wrote this when I got home today. It literally
Okay.
took me about 10 minutes, and I was just
Mhm.
I was listening to one of my favorite bands, Ginger. They came out with a song called "Someone's Daughter," and it was about their band from Ukraine, and they were talking about the war in Ukraine and why I love this band. I'm a heavy metal head, so I don't know if anybody resonates with that.
Mhm.
Um, but reason why I love this band is because they brought themselves out of the darkness inside Ukraine, and they're actually so big. They actually had a United States tour a couple years ago, and they're becoming one of the best metal bands in the world. And if you hear the story, Tatiana's the lead singer. Um, Eugene's actually the reason I play bass guitar myself, and they telling the stories of like they would do their shows with no audience, no money, no nothing.
Mm.
And a little small town in Ukraine that barely had social media presence, no people coming, no people supporting, and they were able to get so big that they had a whole North American tour, and they're like millions of views on YouTube now, and just releasing a new single and doing their things. And so the main interpretation um I like to use for the first two lines. So again, I said, I dwell in darkness, I sleep in the light. And I just want everybody that is listening and viewing to know that no matter how dark your times are, God walks with you through it. God is your light through the darkness. And
Amen.
if you know anything about darkness, that darkness is the absence of light. You cannot have darkness without light. So when you're in your deepest, darkest moments, you just have to realize that that just means your light's shining bright inside. How many times do we wake up and I'll just use grade school. How many times you've been dead asleep and your mama come in and bust open the door and turn that big light on? Get up. It's time for school. And you get discombobulated and
Mhm.
you're shaking, you're trying to move out the covers, dropped your phone, dropped your headphones, drop whatever in the bed with you, and you're like, huh, what? And so
Right.
that symbolizes that, no matter what you're going through, how dark you may seem, to just trust God and He'll guide you to the light.
Mm.
And then the talk is cheap, silence is cheaper. And so I interpret that as everybody has a voice that needs to be heard. And people always say, we've always heard talk is cheap, it don't cost you a dime. But you being silent does more harm than you not speaking up enough and not allowing
Mm.
your voice to be heard. And
Yes.
so that's why the talk is cheap, but your silence is cheaper. Because everybody, I always on my podcast, I always encourage the viewers to look in the mirror. So I also want to encourage the tea lights to just look through the cup, look through your teacup, and the reflection you see staring back at you from that liquid inside your teacup. And I want you to really look at your life and say, how many times, how many opportunities have you missed in life? How many blessings have you not been able to take part in because you were silent?
Mm.
How many bad times God was trying to get you out of and get you gone? Maybe it's that relationship you're supposed to leave, but you were silent. And
Mhm.
so the talk was cheap. Talking you to stay in the relationship is cheap, but your silence of not speaking up and leaving is cheaper.
Mm.
And, and then the guardian is here. So the guardian, again, it's your guardian angel or God, if you will, sending guardian angels to protect you. The prayers of the voiceless voice shall rise. And that means your prayers don't go unanswered as long as you focus on your assignment and you put God first. Again, we've always said, I know many people have heard this on this podcast, faith without works is dead. And so you have to have the faith and the work together to know that, hey, I'm praying, it's gonna rise, God's gonna hear me. But as long as I work, then I'll let your guardian, be able to protect you. and then the
Mm.
whispers are broken. And I just want to say real quick, and I'll let Black Mamba talk. I just want to say real quick, the whispers are broken. God reveals all. I just want to
Mhm.
say that. And so there's somebody listening that's going to view or listen to this podcast episode finale for Verbal Tea, and maybe there's some coworkers talking bad about you. Maybe there's some family talking bad about you. Maybe there's
Mm.
some maybe there's a level you're trying to reach, and you're like, why can't I get that promotion, or why can't, why don't my mom love me, or why don't my friends invite me to the wedding? Why am I not in the wedding? Why did I not get invited to the party? There's some whispers going on about you, some rumors going on around about you, and I just decree that be broken here today.
Mm.
She just
Amen.
woke up
Amen.
to the
Amen
light.
to that.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much,
You're welcome.
Darian, for sharing that. And that's the beauty, I think, Kay. Don't you agree,
Mhm.
Author Nikki Nicole? Just about poetry is art.
Yes.
And art is subjective because my interpretation was something totally different once he broke it
Mhm.
down, and it still makes sense. Two things can
Makes
be
sense.
different and
Yep.
apply at the same time. And that's the beauty about writing. That's the beauty about art, and especially about poetry, because it can hit people differently
Differently. Hmm.
depending on the word choice and depending on what they take. You know what I'm saying? From that. So I think that's very dope. Good job.
Thanks.
That
Does
was
that mean
great.
does that mean it's my turn?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're so
Hey,
tag go. No,
Learn something new about Darian every day.
Right. So everybody has written a poem. Um, and I didn't know we could share that, which is perfect because there are some things that hopefully we get to discuss about community. And particularly for me, one of my biggest niches when it comes to community is children. I love children, specifically, not the, I love all children, but I specifically love working with adolescents. I feel like it's the prime time for for influence. They're growing, their brains are, expanding, hormones, everything. They're going through so many life changes that I don't think we if we don't remember ourselves what it felt like in middle school or during those years mentally, man, I feel like I'm surprised a little. I'm not surprised that a lot of kids today are unemotive, have no emotional intelligence, that they're basically going insane out here in these
Mhm.
streets. So I have a piece that I'd like to share. It's a working title. Right now it's called Hey You. And as a disclaimer, I'm a woman, so this is a very particular focus on toxic parenting. And if we ever spin the block, you'll understand, and I'll definitely bring it back around when it talks about community. Hey you, toxic mommy. Please tell me why you compete, you compare when you stare at your child. Deep seated hatred, your eyes see red. They remind you of what could have been, only if you had a mammy that cared, someone you could depend. So that hurt and that pain that you feel within, you turn around and plant inside of them. Toxic mommy, look in the mirror. Can you not see your children's reflection staring back into thee? That you are hating yourself, not just your progeny. Toxic refractions bending light, generational curses downloading plight. Toxic mommy, listen to me. I pray for healing and true sight to see the envious, jealous spirits residing in you, holding you hostage and bondage to your childhood's misuse and abuse. The toxic mindsets that have dug deep roots, keeping you suspended, appended, blinded to the truth that your children are only reflections of you. Toxic mommy, may you one day become aware so that when you stare, you don't see unrealized realities, but everything that could be if only you believed in a beautiful family, interacting healthily in all the ways y'all intended it to be, not all this negativity that was never the plan. Life be life, and sis, you got to stay prepared. Toxic mommy, don't be mad when you hear me. because my mind said stay on queen things, deflecting negativity. This energy of mine was built by design. I know I am divine. I only want what's best for me and mine's, for I am only the prototype, a concept car. My three reflections, they know what we are, and that each of them holds different pieces of me individually. I can't hate myself. I was born to create greater works than he. That's what Yah claimed it would be. My three queens are me and I, them 2.0. Elevation is the goal. I would never hate them, and that's on my soul. Because what's in them is in me. And if I don't like what I see, that changes on me.
Mm.
Toxic mommy, please tell me, what will be your legacy? When it's all said, when it's all done, the picture you painted, created, will it be a good one? To my reflections, I pray you grow to know that I am a blessing. I enhance life. I am nurturing. I plant good seed. I am peaceful. I am savage. To know me is to love me, for I am love. I am light, but don't get it twisted now. My righteous mentality will even the score of any war, any fight. If you know me, then I know you too. For who am I if not a reflection of you? And you, me, goddess energy. There can never be hate in my heart for you or for me. I love you, girls. My mini me's 2.0, my legacy.
And you said that wasn't finished.
Good
It's a
Lord have
You
mercy.
said that wasn't finished.
I haven't practiced it. I've read
When you
it
doing
like
the EP on Breaking the Silence?
probably read it.
Oh,
I maybe read it like 3
You
times.
read
So
it.
it
You
is a
read it.
work in progress.
Oh my
that's
gosh.
I haven't practiced it
That
yet,
was
but
awesome. Mind blowing.
I
thank,
love that.
My
yeah,
heart. Wow.
yeah, thank
You
you.
blew me
That
away
was
with that.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Powerful. Each of you. Powerful
Yes.
poems. I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
let me just break it down and be a fangirl. I am real quick. Nikki hit us with friendship, community, and friendship. Darion hit us with the power of isolation and knowing that divinity is there to keep you company, to bring you through. And then you talk about motherhood and generational curses and things like that, those things that are passed down through us, and then how we ultimately still see our reflection in other people. And
Mhm.
it just all comes because I've covered friendship. I've covered our relationship with ourselves and our relationship with our parents. And it's just like full circle. I'm so ready to get into this community topic. I am blown away. I'm blown away, you guys.
Well, I'm happy you're happy, and I'm happy you're blown away. That means we're doing a good job, right, guys?
Right.
Yes, you guys are doing so wonderfully. As I said earlier, I think community is like I don't want to say the top tier relationship, but it's like the advanced level, in my opinion. And so you can't talk about community without discussing all of the elements that you all just did. And I love that all of your pieces focused and elaborated on all of those elements so richly. Where do I start? Where do I start? I let's start with Nikki's. Nikki's has a promise. I love that your
Mhm.
poem had a promise. So you talked about what people pour into you, but you also discussed what you are going to do, what your purpose is, how you find purpose in that fellowship, how it strengthens your purpose, and how you promise that no matter what, through every season, you're going to try to stay true. And I want to explore that topic because I believe community is not just a relationship, but a resource.
Amen.
Well,
And and no matter what season is happening, there are needs that still need to be met. And
Constant.
and when you are committed as a community, what you provide can't be determined always by the season. How you support each other has to take you through every season sometimes.
Hmm.
I mean, that's how I feel. What do you guys think?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What you say, author Nikki Nicole? We've focused on the promise. That should be
Yeah.
the name of the poem. Do you have a name? Did you have a working title for it? The promise.
I just
as
put Winner Circle Community on it. I
Winner
didn't really
Circle.
title it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Wonderful.
but I mean, I
So,
do believe that, you have to pour into people and people have to pour into you, and you can't have an empty cup while you're pouring into these people too. And I don't think it's necessarily a two-way street. But I do believe that you will be blessed when you're doing things for people and you're supporting people. So I had somebody ask me this question, what if they don't support you? Then what would you do? I'm going to
mm,
continue to do what I do because God
right,
got me. It's not about what people do for me. It's about
right.
me helping people. This is my vision. This is my mission to make
Mhm.
sure I help people get to places that they never dreamed of. And it's working. And when that kind of stuff happens, it's mind blowing. When you see your vision, you see your mission come to life through people. I've cried a lot just seeing people get the next levels because I'm like, wow, it really happened. And I
Yeah,
never thought that it could happen. So,
right.
yes, I really believe in pouring into people, and people will pour into you just unwillingly. They're going to do it for you.
Yeah,
People that you don't know, they're going
right.
to pour into you. So,
Yeah, I would say also don't get weary in the well doing.
Mhm.
exactly.
And that's something recently here that I posted about, just about feeling too good, um for my own good. That the softness that I feel myself entering, even more so as I get older, I'm more sensitive to the ugliness of the world, especially now that I have children and girls myself. So it's so easy. It's so easy to see the ugliness, and it's also easy to see that it's a choice.
Right.
So when you think about that ugliness and you talk about seasonals and changes, you sometimes, like you said, things happen. Think about storms, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, things that natural disasters that force people, you know what I'm saying, to come together as a
Mhm.
community to help each other. You think about death in the community and the family, tragic events, a child passing away possibly, and how the community comes together to support. Is not always about, what would I like to say? It doesn't always have to be negative things. It could be positive things, celebrating births, celebrating, weddings, celebrating, community achievements through school, through athletics. So, yes, seasonal. You don't get to pick and choose the season to be a community. You're a community always. It's not a off switch that you turn on when you feel
Exactly.
like it just because the season isn't your season.
Right.
Community is year round. Community is constant, and
Co-
it requires a constant influx of community action. And like author Nikki Nicole says, which I love to focus on, my favorite word is agape. You don't do it for you. You don't do it for the applause. You don't do it for the recognition. You do it because that's what you're called to do. You do it
Absolutely.
because you enjoy, you love, it's rewarding, to pour into other people, to bless other people, simply to remind them that it's goodness, it's good people still left in the world. And the world would have us think that there isn't, because we see so much ugliness and toxicity all the time, and division, constant
Mm.
division. We see it even on social media, just how easily divided we can become about the simplest of perspectives,
Simplest.
the simplest of things, not being able to accept that people are different, see the world differently, have different views, values, morals, and ethics, and that we don't always have to see things the same way and be a hive mind. That's not going to help community. Community needs different types of thinkers, different types of builders, different types of talents, different types of gifts. Excuse me, and different types of thought processes. We can't all think the same. We can't come to creative solutions thinking the same way. So I definitely agree with you about not being able to choose the season, Miss K. And I'm sorry if I was long-winded with that answer.
Man, that was some good stuff. That was some good
This
stuff.
is why I have a podcast. I
Yes.
tell people all the
Yes,
time.
that needed to be said.
Yes, ma'am.
Amen. Yes. Community, I just want to reiterate that community is constant. I know, Darian, I'm going to let you speak. I'm like Kanye. I'm going to let you speak, but just a moment. I just wanted to just emphasize what you ladies both said about how community is a constant thing, seasons. It doesn't matter what the season is. You still have to pour into your community and do what you're called to do. And you might have a different capacity, but you still have to have that commitment and reflect that commitment and pour that love out. You can't just shut down. You can't, because if the fridge needs to have light and energy to keep the food cool and preserve it, it can't just go out, because now people can't eat. And we have to think about it like that. Functioning as a household or as a building, you still are responsible for just your basic maintenance,
Amen.
your basic responsibilities. Doesn't mean you have to talk every day or anything like that, but hey, I'm going through something, but I'm gonna keep in touch.
Right.
I'm still touching and praying for you, agreeing with you, and celebrating you. But it's what I can serve is going to be on low battery mode for a little bit. That's
Right.
okay. But I think that's, like you said, that's something that as a community we have to understand. I think that community and friendship are different. I believe they're
Mm.
different.
Yes.
And that was something I really wanted us to explore together on
Hmm.
what those differences are. So I'm going to let Darian lead. If you have any thoughts about friendship versus community, do you believe they're the same or different?
Yes, I actually wrote an excerpt on this.
Yeah.
And so I said community and friendship are both intricate parts of the social interactions. First, what I want everyone to do is look at the scope and size of your true calling,
Mm.
your true assignment. Community focuses on the overall goal and is often greater than oneself.
Mm.
Community has no limitations as long as the goals and the mission aligns. Focus on your assignment. Friendship is more intimate and can be misleading in a way. What is a friend mean to you? There are many levels of friendship. However, community focuses on the task at hand, and friendships are more deeper emotional connections and require more personal rapport and more confidentiality. A community can be both informal or family type vibe and also business and assignment oriented, and friendships are mostly only within, and they're mostly emotionally charged. Community support is broad, wide ranged, and diverse. Friendship support is more catered and personalized based on mutual experiences and a mutual agreement of both parties involved. Appreciate the value in each of the community and in the friendship. And so the main takeaway is focus on your assignment within the community. And just like Black Mama was saying, everybody has their own skill set. Everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses. And a wise man once told me, take your weaknesses and you'll find them as somebody else's strengths. And then you partner together within community. And now everybody just has strengths. And so you're building that continuous unit. And then the friendship within the community, as you find like-minded people with the strengths, then you develop the friendship within the community. But the community serves the higher purpose,
Mm.
Mm.
whereas
Absolutely.
friendship might be on the side. So focus on your assignment.
I agree
I
with
love
that.
that.
You
So
broke that
good.
down. Oh my
He did,
gosh.
didn't he? I don't even feel like, do we need to go next, Nick?
I know, right? Like, show over.
Right?
Oh
Just
no.
put,
If you
just put my little prompt to shame.
Okay. To shame.
No, I'm just playing. No, good job. I like the way that you broke that down for us, Darian. And I definitely agree with you about those differences that you found between community and friendship.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yep. Just focus. Like I said, if everybody in the community focuses on, and the key word is focus on the assignment. And
Mhm.
another main difference too is, again, what I said is the emotionally charged or the friendship. Community has nothing to do with the emotion.
No
It's
Mhm.
all focused on this. It's focused on the mission,
assignment
the
and the
goal. Yeah.
mission. Exactly.
Hmm.
Mm. Okay.
It's my turn. I was like, am I
Yeah.
supposed to go next?
I'm trying to give y'all space before I
Right.
go off
I
like
mean,
this.
I
No,
agree with
definitely.
Darian that you have to stay focused. You have to stay determined. You have to know first. You have to know where you're going. You got to have a roadmap. You got to know where you're going and who you're trying to reach. And once you know those two things, then you can get down to making things happen. Then friendship comes along the way. After you know your goals, after you know your mission, after you have that roadmap, then everything else should align. If it
Mm.
doesn't align with you, then you have no business doing it anyway.
Amen. Tell him
So
again.
if it doesn't align with you, you have no business doing it anyway.
Mm.
But it has to be a collective thing in a community in order for it to work. One
Yes.
person can lead the group, but everybody has to have one voice and move together. And if that doesn't
Mhm.
happen, nothing's gonna ever move. Everything is gonna be all out of order if you don't have the same. I mean, it's okay for one person to have a one mindset and the other person that's what makes community better.
Mhm.
The
Right.
mix of different flavors make the community better. But at the same time, people have to go to that table with their chairs ready to focus on the mission. And a lot of
Mhm.
times people just
Mm.
go to the table, but they don't have their chairs. They're not
Mm.
ready.
No
What you
fork or
said.
nothing.
No
No fork.
fork, no
And not
plate,
a
no
No.
nothing,
napkin.
no
Right.
Wet wipe.
napkin, nothing.
You can't eat with your hands. You gotta
Okay, eat
just
with their
Well, I
hands
can't.
and not
Here in
supposed to
the
be.
South, they do.
right. You say eating foo.
Them
I'm telling
green.
you,
Yeah.
using
Mhm.
chopsticks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, you can't you can't have that with chopsticks. So like it's you have to know what's at the plate.
Exactly.
Got to know what's at the buffet. You
Is
can't
this
just be
meal
sitting.
for you?
And if I can expound on that, because the only thing that I kept thinking as Darian and author Nikki Nicole were speaking is the analogy just about the community, for example, being the body.
Mhm.
I'm not going to begrudge my hands because they see more action than my feet. You know, my feet has a job of its own. My feet shouldn't be jealous of my hands because it sees more work. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the day, gets all the action. But understand that the feet and the hands work together symbiotically, simultaneously for a common goal. You know what I'm saying? To get a job done, to get you to where you're going. For it's still just as equally as important, just because it has a what the feet might consider a lesser role. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's just as equally as important as the hands. So, it's definitely something to consider when Darian tells you to focus on your assignment, okay?
Mhm.
Not somebody else's and somebody else over there. If you're working together as a community, that means you're working for a common goal of some
Mhm.
sort. And individually, individual parts do individual things that harmonize and come together for to complete that goal. So that's my thought process on what I heard them speaking.
I love that. I like the way how you broke that down as the body.
Yes.
Everybody has different tasks, but we all still have to work together as the body.
And one task is not more important than the other because
Exactly.
without the feet, you would be not as effective. You would have your hands, and the hands are
Can't even
seeing all
walk.
the work, but
Mhm.
you can't walk, you can't go nowhere, you can't stand. You know what I'm saying? So each part, don't think that you're in community, and which I'm sure Kay, look, we'll get to because she knows I already love community. In community, there is no big and small. Okay, that don't mean you have to be PTA mom of the year. Okay, that means show up to your baby's conferences. If they
Yes.
have something going on, an event, and your kids are not there, that don't mean show up because show up for the other people's kids. Show up for the kids that don't have anybody showing up for them. There are
Mhm.
lots of little things that we can do that are community minded, community based, that pours in and helps the community, because what do? We look to the community when we need something.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? When something happens, and it's something that I talk about often, is gun violence. These kids get shot out here. Now mamas want to come together with a group and have t-shirts and have prayer vigils
Mhm.
and do memorials and come together to stop the violence. Where were you?
Before
Mhm.
that,
Where were you before the tragedy?
You got to build the roof
So
before it
you
rains.
you want to draw on the
Yes.
community now. You know what
right?
I'm saying? But you don't want to pour into that community that you're leaning into. So
Exactly.
that's what it means to be a symbiotic relationship. When Nikki talks about that empty cup, what's being poured into you, you're pouring out into somebody else, but it's a constant stream. It's a constant. Once again,
Yeah.
community is constant. It's a constant flow.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not losing anything. You're constantly being poured
Damn.
into, but you're constantly pouring out as well. It's when you don't receive, there's when that disconnect happens. You know what I'm saying? That you end
Yeah.
up empty. I'll just leave it there.
You better preach. You better
Right.
Preach
preach
is
now.
right there.
You better preach that thing, boy.
Well, I
Ooh.
like like Black Mamba. I like what you said about the jealousy. And it went right back to what I said with community again has no limitation and no
Mhm.
emotional connection. And so, like you said, every role in the community is the same essentially, just like the
Mhm.
hands and the feet. So
Exactly.
I encourage the T lights, if you're in the community, if somebody's the head director or like you said, the head PTA, you have, the janitor or whoever, the janitor has the same role as the president or the CEO of the
Mhm.
community. It's
Mhm.
all for the common goal and the common assignment.
Amen.
Correct. Correct. All of that is important. It doesn't matter if your peas on the plate. Those have some nutrients that, you know, fulfill a whole food group. Like all of it matters. And I don't want to say that there's no emotional connection, but it's not a priority. The
Yeah.
priority aren't your feelings. And when you're in a community,
Mhm.
how you feel isn't the priority. It is how are we accomplishing this mission and this goal together? And
Absolutely.
the disconnect comes when you feel or you recognize that you're the only person focused on that goal. That's
Mm.
when that's when the
Yeah.
disconnect comes. It's like I'm the only person thinking about this. Everybody else worried about all these other seemingly
And it's a
little
house of
things.
cards. It falls down,
Well,
doesn't it?
Exactly.
Because once that disconnect happens, who's helping the community now? Because now you've lost the
Everybody's
will,
lost.
the desire, the want to be intentional about helping a community that don't want to pour into you and
Born to
help
you.
you. So it's just a revolving cycle. No, the community doesn't get any help,
the-
because everybody's concerned with these individual, things, and everything else going on, instead of what Darian said, focus on
Assignment.
you. Basically, that's what he's saying. Focus on you. Okay, focus on you, what you can do.
Mhm.
Not what the next person is doing, how they doing it, how much they're doing it. What can you do?
Can
And
you
what are
wait?
you not doing and why? If you
That
have
part.
gifts, if you have talents, if you have a business, whatever it is, there's something that you have that you can contribute to your community.
But also, I want to go back on the body part because this has been hitting home for me rather heavily
Mhm.
recently. If we're a body, sometimes one part of the body ain't feeling too hot.
Right,
It ain't
right.
feeling too
Great
hot.
job.
And so community also does require a level of humility, a huge level of
Mhm.
humility. You should be able to be like, I remember someone had a toothache, right? And somehow something wrong with their tooth messed up something in their neck. And it was just like so poetic how the body is connected like that.
Mhm.
Check it out.
Mhm.
Go and check it out because you don't know who you might be hurting. And
Right.
and I think community needs that open communication.
Amen.
That
And,
communicate. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, Kay. No, I didn't mean to interrupt your thought. Because I was going to tell you where the direction I thought you were going to go with that is that when that part is sick, that, like the body, what does the body do? The body pulls together. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? To continue feeding, the body what it needs while that part is sick, fighting
Mm-hmm.
the immune system to get you better. It's working overtime to heal you. And that's what's also the disconnect in the community too, is that when there is a portion of it that is sick, it doesn't have, you know what I'm saying? The community, it doesn't have nowhere to go, to draw on, to lean into. That community should be helping to pour into that sick part. If you, for example, Winter Circle, I know nothing about the Winter Circle, but just in essence of a small community of people, that when one is something that me and Kay talked about in PNC, that if ever one of us had to fall off,
Mhm.
we should be able to keep it alive.
Yep.
The
Absolutely.
ship should not sink
It
just
shouldn't.
because, you know what I'm saying, one person falls off. You cross train, you
Hmm.
delegate, you come together while that person needs to do what it is that they need to do, heal, get better, switching jobs, moving. It might be anything where someone may not, for example, be able to participate as much for whatever reason. So being able for that community to come together to uplift and help that person is also a big part of what is community and what I think is missing in community today.
I agree. I
I
agree
agree.
completely.
I was going to use the podcast buzzword accountability.
Mm,
Um,
Well,
Curse
because
again.
your health, your state matters. Like where you are matters to the rest of the community. And if there is something that's just not right, and you, you know, you can't smell that infection, your nose isn't
yeah,
working, but the skin is burning, is letting you know that's the signal. You need to hear it and you need to patch it up. And I
right.
think with um, the limitations with community today is the element of shame.
Mm,
The element of shame breaks up so many communities because even though people feel like it's good when it's good, but when it gets bad, they forget that those are still your people.
Hmm.
nature
They
of
forget
life,
about the good
right?
moments. They forget about the times that we were built up. You build up that
Hmm.
community. They forget about the good times, the rewards, the
Mm,
bad times. They forget about everything.
sound like that 40-year trek in the wilderness. That's what
they
it sounds
forget
like.
Mm.
they forget the assignment.
The
Mm-hmm.
assignment.
Oh,
That's because they're not aligned with the assignment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
They
part.
lost their way.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start
Mm-hmm.
losing your way and you start thinking that you're big, you're up here, and your circle and community is down here, then you start losing your way anyway.
Right. Because
Yep,
that
pride
community
comes
should be
before
coming
the
with you.
fall.
Right.
Exactly. Not a
Mm-hmm.
limb falling off. You know what I'm saying? How we gonna move this body if the limb done fell off?
Yep,
Right.
pride comes before the fall.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
The
That's
rabbit
the,
hole.
that's a word right there. And but I have an obsession with listening to cults because I kind of feel like I grew up in one. So I
Mm-hmm.
listen to them. It's really cathartic for me. And one thing I've learned is people feel so isolated. And so they get into these communities that aren't really communities and they're
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
preying on shame
Yes.
and they don't talk about what they're feeling,
Mm.
Mhm.
and I think that communication and just eliminating shame, I that is my mission. My next mission for this season is to build a space for people close to me to not feel shame,
Right. Right.
to
But
feel
you know what that key word was? Build.
yeah.
Build.
When we talk about community, what was the word you used? Um, I don't know what it was, but the word I wrote down was culture. And it's
Mm,
something I express heavily with you just in PNC. You create the culture of your
yeah.
community. Shame comes with the culture. The
Hmm.
culture was created, you know, like just germs, just sitting there manifesting and, working and coming together and all this toxic stuff, that people have allowed, the prejudice, the judgments, the stereotypes, the mindsets, the thought processes. You create your culture. If you're creating a community or you want to see different in your community, then you start by establishing the culture, the baseline. What does this community look like? What did this community feel like? And then you go from there. Okay, so what now? But when you have a community that's rooted in a culture of, toxicity and negative mindsets, there will be nothing that you can ever do to help please that community. If anything, that community is going to suck you dry. And that's something else we don't want to talk about either, because just because there is a community, it doesn't mean that it's a good thing. Okay, that community doesn't mean that that's a good community. You talk about cults, that's a community.
Yeah,
Most of
that's true.
them are communities. That doesn't mean that's a good community. So, but they've established the culture of the cult. So you're either going to get information or you're going to move around, right?
You got that
Right.
right.
And
Yep.
You said a mouthful with that one.
That's true. You do build it. And that's why that is my every time I journal, and especially when I journal with you guys, if I feel like a pastor now, where the pastors will say before their sermon, that life started hitting them hard about the exact thing they wanted to preach about. I write these journal entries forever ago, and then days leading up to them, the topic just spears its head right on my life. And so now I
yeah,
have an accountability part that I save in the top of my journal. Like, all right, how can I build a culture where there is no shame? Like,
right,
no shame.
right,
I don't want anyone to feel shame around me, because I feel that is how people get taken advantage of, how people isolate themselves unnecessarily because of shame.
right, right. That's a big part too. Did you want me to move into my journal prompt?
Yes, let's hear it.
Very short. It's very short because I knew that I would just be doing a lot of improv talking, off the cuff talking. But what I have for how is community different from standard friendship, where friendship focuses on intimacy of relationship and the closeness between one or more individuals, community has a much more broader focus. It is holistically for everyone, not just friends, but for neighbors. Community looks out for man, woman, and child. It can go as deep to care about politics, social constructs, and laws that affect the world we live in. And that's what I have.
I
Sorry,
love
the
it.
different.
And it aligns with what Dark Law said about a bigger assignment, a bigger
Yes,
purpose. It is connecting with a purpose, not connecting because I like you or because I love you personally, but because I have a greater love for this goal we need to meet.
right. And it's a common
Yeah,
goal.
a
It's a goal
common
that
goal.
everybody can get behind because they know ultimately that it helps everyone, not just an individual, not someone that you love and care about deeply, your homegirl, your homeboy, your lover,
Exactly.
your friend, your mother, your father, whomever it is. That's where, because there's levels of intimacy. And I will say
Level.
that I somewhat disagree with Darian when it comes to emotion. I feel like emotion is heavily involved in community because with that comes passion. And with passion, that's an emotion. You know what I'm saying? That you feel you have to have
Have to.
emotion to inject into that community, that love, that empathy, that care. You know what I'm saying? That concern, that pain. When your community hurts, you feel
You
it. We
hurt.
all felt
You
it
hurt.
Mhm.
when
Exactly.
Sonia Massey passed away, and the
Yes.
countless others of people that individually we are so far apart and far removed from those things, but we felt that on a visceral level, and it
Oof.
touched us on
Yes.
a visceral level, and we're not even in that community.
Right.
So, when you think about those things, those are emotions. I feel like emotion is what's lacking in community. There are no emotions because there's no emotional intelligence
No
anymore.
empathy, no nothing.
No empathy, no nothing. And that's exactly what the community needs is emotion. It needs love. It needs care. It needs concern. It needs people that feel deeply and want to take their light and help share it, not just with theirs, but with somebody else's.
Everybody.
People love to say, hey, I don't like other folks' children. You know what I'm saying? You can go home. You love your kids, and you might not like your kids sometimes. They work your nervous system and things of that nature, but you don't just help your kids.
Gotta help
Okay? If you see another child, unsupervised, for example, you don't go look at that child and you say, well, that ain't my child. It ain't my business.
Right. We don't do
You
that.
know,
everybody.
you turn your head, you look away at the things that you see happening around you in the community. And why? Because you have no emotional attachment to those things. It don't affect you. until it touches you, until that little kid, you know what I'm saying, grows up to bully your child, or that
Mhm.
little
Mhm.
kid grows up to hurt your child.
Mhm.
And then it's, oh, woe is me,
Now you
you
feel
know.
it. Now there's
Now
the
Mhm.
you feel
empathy,
it.
you know? Mhm.
And now you're community minded. Don't wait. Don't wait for tragedy to strike your community, to strike your household, to want to be a part of your community.
It's like that song by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie, the one they wrote, "We Are the World."
Yeah.
When when the line that hits me so hard, I get chills every time when he goes, "We're saving our own lives." Like that
Hmm.
is just the most compassionate line I've ever heard in music ever.
And it's so simply true.
And it's so true. And that's how I look at things. And that's how I looked at them before I was a mom. And so, of course, it's a no brainer. I became one because it's just like, you are me, I am you. Like, we're really all connected and
Hmm.
we're saving our own lives. That line
Right.
just, if I get a tattoo, it would probably be something corny like that because it really just marked my soul when I heard it for the first time.
Hmm.
That and I feel that we don't realize we're connected because so much of
Hmm.
society tries to convince us that we are disconnected, which is why there's
Mhm.
this huge emphasis on a nuclear family because they just want to reduce us to units
Hmm.
when
Hmm.
even the statistics show that the families that thrive are those that have these bigger communities.
Mhm.
It's
Hmm.
not about how many parents are in the house, it's about how many people are pouring into these children.
Exactly. Exactly.
But y'all know that
And
saying, it takes a
Mhm.
village.
And it does, always has, always will. That
right.
is human nature. That is how we're designed.
Amen. Amen.
But they separate us. It's like Netflix. Do y'all remember when Netflix thought that they would try to tell us we can't share our passwords with everybody?
Mhm.
Right.
They
Right.
it's literal profit. They profit off of separating our households
Yep.
this way.
Hmm.
And that's
Right.
it is not just Netflix. It is everything. It's the whole
Everything.
system. Capitalism preys on that. And that's why we have these lost souls, terrorizing schools and things like that because they don't have the conventional family and so that means they somehow are unworthy of resources and support from their
Right.
Mhm.
like
Right.
from the community. Like the caretakers get nothing, they get shamed and they get
Mhm.
disparaged instead of us going,
Hmm.
oh, look at that poor baby, look at this woman or
Right.
this man trying to do this on their own, let me see how I can
I
help.
can't help. Mhm.
That.
Instead it's shame, why did you do that, why did you have this many kids, blah blah blah. And it's just like
Now why she
you
had this
say,
many kids?
why did you have this
Right.
many kids, and then like years later, why are these kids like this? Well,
Mhm.
look how you talk to
Mhm.
their creator, look
Mhm.
what you poured into them.
Right. Right.
You told them
Or
their lives were unnecessary. That's like literally what you're saying. And so
Mhm.
how do you think that's going to manifest?
right.
Sorry, I told you I was going to go
No,
off.
no doubt. No doubt. Definitely. As you should. It makes me think I'm probably like the only person, I'm one of few people that I know personally that has their neighbor's phone number on their block. Do
Mhm.
you know your neighbor? Do you know who's living next door to you? I have kids here. I need to know who around
Yep.
me, if not only just to feel their energy,
Mhm.
and get an idea about what type of person that they are. But good neighbors make good neighbors. You end up looking out for each other
Hmm.
and pulling together when something happens. Whether it's, I invite my neighbors over to eat, I give them plates of food, when I cook, my neighbors will borrow, a cup of sugar if they need it. Will help, has helped me put locks on my doors, helped me fix my car when I've needed it. Even my mailman, everywhere that I go, I focus on community and making people feel like they are part, of a community is important on so many levels. But so many of us, unlike back in the 80s and such, do not know our neighbors. We don't know who we living next to, their stories, their testimony. You might be living next door to somebody who could actually help you, bless you with
That's
something.
so
You
true.
don't even know who
I'm
they are.
I'm gonna tell you a story about that. I actually had a neighbor that I got to know, and she actually gave me a car.
See,
Gave
look
it
at that
to me.
blessing,
Signed
blessing.
the title over and said you can have it.
Right. You never know how, and that's not why you do it to get blessings, but you never know how you will be blessed by blessing others.
Right.
You just know when it happens, just to accept it and say thank you and continue pouring it back out.
Yeah.
Once again, those cups pouring back in, taking that blessing. What I got my first performance bonus this month. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys saw my
Nice.
Facebook post. But I
Nice.
Nice.
got my very first real performance bonus. But you know what I decided to do with it? I want to give it back to the community in some
Of
way. So I'm
course you
doing a
do.
giveaway. They're the community that gave it, to me. So
Hmm.
I'm going to be able to celebrate that with them too, by giving it right back. Not because I know I might get it back, tenfold. That's not what I'm concerned about.
Right.
My only concern is to make people feel valued, feel, wanted, and that their presence is appreciated when they come to my space. So, it's important to know the people, around you. You hear those stories, well, he was such a nice guy. I can't believe he axe murdered his whole
Nice.
family. I
Now
never
you're
would have
such a
guessed
nice
it.
guy.
Swear to God. Swear to God. Nicest man on earth.
Oh my God. He was such a
And he
nice
done
guy.
killed his whole family.
Oh my God.
And you never
Man.
knew. And you never knew.
Never know.
But, just passing.
That
Every
was
time I see him,
funny.
he waves. He's mowing his lawn,
What about this
and
one, but what
That's
about
but,
this one,
true.
buddy?
Oh my God. That was a good one.
but it's true.
It's true.
It's so true. You never know who is around you. You never know who you can bless and how they may bless you just by simply being a good citizen, a good community member, and just a decent human being.
That's it.
And if I
Simple.
must say, I live next door to immigrants too. As we know, with immigration crisis, as they want to
Mm,
call it, we have an influx of non-English speaking people here in my city, in the school systems. And I have neighbors, that live next door. And one thing that I learned too, just coming into my own realization about community, is cultural barriers
mhm.
and how language barriers will keep people from interacting
Yep.
and getting to know somebody because they don't speak the same language, or they look different, or they sound different, they dress different, they smell different, they think different, once again, those differences in people, but they're still human with human emotions, with gifts, and with talents that you won't know because you don't want to talk to them because they can't understand you. Well, guess what? Hey, we got devices now that can speak for us and translate and breaks
Mhm.
down those language barriers for us to be able to interact with each other. Don't let language keep you from being a part, of interacting in your community and with your neighbors. You know, you just never know how they might be able to bless you or you be a blessing to them as well.
Absolutely.
So, Darian, I wanted to talk about uh, your poem. And when you talked about how, the light is within you and how, like, God is always with you, I feel, you guys know I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual. I feel divinity exists in that us unifying each other. And there's biblical text that, also acknowledges that as well. But that's when I feel like I'm in touch with divinity, is when I am connected to people who are trying to connect, being wholesome, and have a common goal, whether it's even just to enjoy this meal together. That's when I feel like I feel God is in those moments like that, like this.
Awesome, awesome. And yeah, so I want to talk to everybody real quick as well that are tuning in. Like you said, you're not religious, but you're spiritual. You don't have to be religious to feel the presence of God, or God is within you.
Mm,
It all
Amen.
just like earlier when Black Mama was saying about how you treat people, don't get worried and well doing, like Arthur Nikki Nicole was saying. The main consensus is it all ends and begins in you.
mm,
Everything is in you. So I actually, quick story on the neighbor thing. I had a neighbor that was a Satanist. Um and used to wear the black robe. And I
Mhm.
remember he was married with 2 kids, and you would think that because we're on opposite sides, if you will, that he would be like hateful, or it would be like how they do in church, like what get away from me. But I remember this was when I was in high school, and we would play football outside with his kids, and um just have we would have like conversations about religion. And like I said, we're on different you know sides of the spectrum, and we believe the same like core principles but different sides of it. And just that's when I began to really study people.
Mm.
And um I want to say that God, again, it begins and ends with you, and somebody else's beliefs or non-beliefs has nothing to do with how you treat them. It all ends and begins with you. And so I want to encourage everyone, God didn't give us he gave us a spirit of love and a sound mind. He didn't tell us to, if they're not Christian, and just leave them. He said, hey, like I said, there's in the Bible, there's prostitutes that God led to the water and led to the
You
well.
better preach.
And so, um,
Come
you
on,
know,
David.
you're not high and mighty just because you say you're a Christian or you go to church. It's how you live life throughout. The Bible is a collection of perspectives from people that walked with Jesus and God. And so we have to apply those to our perspective walking with Jesus and God. Because again, God is within us. So every day you wake up, Pastor Eric Thomas said something. He said, you think your lazy butt just got yourself up this morning? you don't, you don't even want to. You don't. We all hate our alarm clock, right?
Yes.
But our spirit got us up, and that's what's in the divinity. And just like Black Mamba was saying with the emotion and that aspect, you have to a lot of people don't talk about the darkness. Again, we're told, especially I'm coming from a Christian background, but I
Yeah.
grew up Pentecostal.
Me too.
Ooh.
How many, and like I said, I want to again speak to the tea lights here. How many child molesters are in your family that they just said be quiet when they touched you?
Oh,
Because
Right.
your uncle, right? Oh, well, he a deacon, so shut up.
Right.
He a deacon, or just little, not even that deep. How much gossip do you hear in the church? What she got on? What she wearing? What Sister Mary? What she come in saying? Ooh, you see her sing? She messed that whole song up. Again, though, what I said earlier to start the episode with my poem, the whispers are broken.
Yeah.
mm.
And those are some of
Mm.
those whispers. And so I just
Amen.
want to encourage everybody not to um, lean to your own understanding, lean to the understanding of God, and just make sure you have to live right, y'all. That's the main.
Amen. That's the main thing. Live right. Practice what you preach.
You
Right.
can't say, again, like we're talking about community here. You can't accept the role and reject the responsibility.
Ooh.
Mm.
Say it one more
Look,
time.
Say it.
One
Yeah.
more
Look,
time.
I ain't
One
get
more
to
time.
say
For
it.
the people,
Thank you,
in the
Nikki.
back. For the people in the back. Take
Yeah.
one more time.
I said you cannot accept the role in the community and reject the responsibility.
That's a
And a lot of
Facebook post right there.
right, and a lot
Oh
of
my
times,
gosh.
and I'm just a lot of times, and we look at relationships in the community. How many times we say, "Ooh, every man for the women, every man I get, they gonna miss me. They lucky they would have had me." And then same thing with girl, that girl wish all the ladies love me. And then
Right.
again, it goes back to the pride before the fall.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we want to roll, whether it's be married or whether it's to have a company or whether it's and that's where that jealousy breeds in the community. You want that role of the CEO or the PTA teacher, but you don't want the responsibility.
Boom.
Mhm.
You don't want to have to
Mm.
come 2 hours early and set up the tables for
Mhm.
everybody.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
You
But
don't
you
And
don't
want
know
that's
what
to.
they carry
okay.
either.
Right.
And
You
that's
don't know what that person is
okay.
carrying on their shoulders either as the CEO.
Exactly.
Right,
You don't want.
They're
Yep. You
carrying
don't.
everybody on their shoulders.
right. And that's okay. That's the point. Don't do things you see other people doing and but you don't want the work. Like they say, they want our rhythm and not
They
our
want the
blues.
role,
Go
but don't
space
want the
without
work.
work.
Mhm.
There's work that we only see, like for example, social media community. What do we see all day long? Like Darren said, nobody likes to talk about the darkness. Nobody discusses the darkness. They just discuss the light. Everything's bright. Everything's
Mhm.
fun. Everything's chilling.
Mhm.
Living the best life. You know what I'm saying? Even mindset coaches, everything is so surface, so
Mhm.
superficial, and just gives it this fake hue of brightness and cheerfulness around it. And real people are drowning. And we see people sporadically drowning in this community, but we drown them out with, all this faux cheerfulness of life that's just not not really life. So it's definitely important as a community that we make sure that we not only are judging other people that are different with different perspectives, because just because you think differently don't mean that we can't work together.
There you go.
But circling it back into the work, not wanting to do the work of something, it's okay to start or try something and see and be inspired by author Nikki Nicole. I want to write a book. I want to do look, however many podcasts you do and record throughout the week. Ain't no way. I know for a fact I'm not author
Mm.
Nikki Nicole. Her motion is not my motion. And that's okay. I don't have to do what she do, how she does it. That's her thing. I'm not going to talk bad about her because she does her thing her way. I'm going to do my thing my way. And even still, me and author Nikki Nicole can come together and do our thing and work together. And that's okay.
Okay.
It's okay to acknowledge that this is not for me. You
Mhm.
do more damage to a role in the community by hanging on to responsibilities that you are ill prepared for, incompetent for, or simply don't have a passion for, because now you're
Mhm.
doing things spitefully,
Yep.
bitterly, and grudgingly. And that doesn't help your community because that energy is going to be felt, is going to be seen, it's going to be
Mhm.
shown in the amount of work that you do, that you produce, the type of work, the quality of it. So it behooves you to find something, to do something that you can do. Focus on you, once again. Focus on you, what you can do in the community, and not what somebody else is doing, and who sees them or who don't see them. Because once again, God sees all, right?
Oh,
Mhm.
And if that is the focus, then let that be your focus. Understand that what you're doing, because if you're doing it for any other reasons, then God ain't in it. God's
Mm.
not in you wanting the accolade, wanting the applause,
right.
wanting, hey, look at me, look at what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Those blessings that you do, we all know you do those things in secret. You don't tell people
Tell everybody.
how
You
you
move
go
in
about
silence.
blessing your
That part.
community,
You move in silence.
what you do for your community. Your community know what you do for your
They know
community.
Exactly.
You know what
exactly.
I'm
They know.
saying?
And I
Your
do.
presence, your
Right.
energy precedes you. It goes before you. Your name is spoken in rooms before you even get there.
That part.
So,
Better tell it.
And
let your energy speak for itself. Let your actions speak for itself. Do what you can do and focus. Focus on you and
yeah,
what
and
you can
then
do to help your community.
yeah, and
Mm.
like you were saying on the when you were talking, I heard something that you said when you were reminding me of my poem, and when you're talking about being ill-equipped for those responsibilities. Again, the talk is cheap, but the silence to
Hmm.
not speak up is cheap.
Yes,
Mhm.
it is. That's the damage that you
Right.
cause.
Mhm.
Yep.
Um, by not speaking up, and by just continuing to do something knowing that for what, to what end, is going to fail. There's no fruit to be had, from that. And it's just, you just going through the motions, and I hate to use the comparison because I understand what needs to happen. And I definitely empathize and feel for women who's had to go through it, but delivering stillborn children, you still got to do that
Mhm.
work,
Mhm.
and you still, and even still, you know, and that sucks. And that sucks to have to do, but that's, kind of like what I feel like with the community. It's dead on the
Mm.
inside, and we're just pushing it on out, you know, and just we keep, pushing it on out
That's
as if,
sad.
and expecting and wanting more and wanting different, but we're not pouring life into the womb. We're not pouring life into the community, and we're feeding it is being fed toxic things from outside sources through media, social media, mass media, news, fake news, AI technology. It's such a big rabbit hole, so many different moving parts and intricacies. And once again, back to community, that's the point. It's an umbrella effect because there's something that you can do that somebody else can't,
That's
and
true.
it's not doing in your community right now that you can do. And if we all collectively took our gifts and our talents or our time and our energy just doing the very smallest of things that we can think of to do that pours into our community, man, we will see a remarkable big difference in how we interact with each other as neighbors, as strangers, even our children, because it has that trickle down effect. Our children, our youth are the way that they are today because we are the way that we are.
Mhm.
Their parents are the way that they are.
Mhm.
The
Exactly.
community is the way that they are. This is not reflective of times. And I'm in my 40s. I'm an 80s baby. So this looks nothing like my childhood. Neighbors,
Nothing.
strangers, the things that we
Yeah,
could do and move around freely, that we take for granted. Times our children today will never see. Those
Never
times
see.
aren't coming back. They're not coming back again. We are the last of a dying breed.
I do.
Those
I do
days are
have a.
gone.
I
I'm an
do have a.
80s baby too. I'm with you on that. I
I
was
do have
born
a.
in 80.
Right.
They'll never see those days. They'll never
They'll
see those
never
days
see
that we
them.
saw. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I do have
Something
a
happened.
question.
And there's a lot that happened, but that's another episode.
Mhm.
Ask away. What's your
Yeah, I
question?
do have a. As you were saying that, it reminded me of one question I heard in one of my songs. It's thousands of years, and what have we learned?
Mm.
We have
Time
been.
is a construct, isn't it?
Thousands of years. I just want everybody to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
The song is called "Sunsets on the Empire," and it's about Rome falling. And it says thousands of years, and what have we learned?
Mm.
I feel like everything we do, everything we invent, puts us further away from each other. Like the goal when we are creating things is never to connect. It's for to do things more efficiently or
Mhm.
um to have minimal connection, minimal labor.
Right.
And
Right.
so if we're always minimizing the labor we have to do, unfortunately, we're starting to apply that to how we relate to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't have this hard conversation because this is just too much for me.
I ain't reading that novel. You text me.
I'm not reading a paragraph and it's only 3 sentences.
Right. Girl,
But it's true. Like people don't
it's
want to do
true.
that. I don't want to ask myself questions and work on myself. I don't got time for that. I don't want to go to
Right.
therapy. I don't have time for that. And it's
Right.
now you're missing out on these connections. But that is what we're in this microwave era.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like everything has to be fast, fast, fast. And it
Instamatic.
either works or it doesn't. Oh, the burrito is still cold inside. I'm throwing it away. I don't want to
Right.
eat it no more. Like that's how essentially how we're treating each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is
Wow.
we can't even keep up with that speed. The
Right.
Exactly.
world
Right.
mentally you can't.
You
That's how we
drain.
get burnt out, and that's how
Drain.
people
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
take their own life and hurt their family or hurt somebody or do something of that nature, um,
Right.
because that silence is cheaper,
Mm-hmm.
so they
Mm-hmm.
hide all the emotions and they don't let the voice be heard.
Well,
What
it's not completely hidden. Families, friends, community, it bleeds through and people see it. We ignore it.
and it
It's
costs
not our
you.
business, it's not our problem, and then those people that are suffering also feel the trauma response that you hear constantly. You've said it yourself. Let's bet money. I don't want to burden you. I don't want to put my
I've said
burdens
that.
on you. I know I can talk to you, but I just felt like I'd be dumping, something that we talked about
Not you
often.
quoting me exactly.
Dumping on you. So now you're holding all that inside. You don't have a community that you feel safe enough to be vulnerable with because you've been made to feel that you're dumping. And some people do, don't get me wrong. Some people have no type of boundaries or, general understanding of what it means to vent and then what it means to just simply dump, you know, onto people, and people who usually don't listen to advice. Every time you say something positive or give positive feedback in response to something negative they say, they got an excuse. Well, I need a new job. Well, have you considered this? Well, I don't have a car. Okay, well, what about this? Well, if I do that, then it's like they find a reason. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to get better. They don't want to heal. They want to complain, and they want to continue suffering, and that's different. But your community should also, like the 1K has said, that she wants to create and build a community with no shame, um needs to feel like it's a safe space in order to discuss whatever is going on, and the community be able to take that and not judge, not make you feel bad or make you feel stupid for feeling whatever the way it is that you're feeling or going through whatever it is that you're going through. Once again, it's a symbiotic relationship. That means, it's constantly flowing and feeding into each other. Not one part is just doing all the work and the other part is just over here chilling and tapping in when they feel like it. And when they don't, they don't. That's not community.
Amen. Well, you guys. No, 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 no. This has been so good. I don't want
It
it to
has.
I don't want it to end. Oh,
Well, we got one more journal prompt.
my
So,
my heart is
you
so
know,
full right now.
and this
Um,
is your season finale, sis, and
I
I'm
know.
so happy to be a part of it with you. So, I'm here for as long as you need me, but I understand we can't be here forever. But that's the nature of good conversation. That's the nature of the community. Look, this little micro community session, that we've just had. You can look at this as a community session. Different people with different, um, Darion, I'm not sure, but what he says is, spiritual, Christian based. Um, Author Nikki Nicole, she's breaking the silence. She's in the trenches. She's talking to all kinds of different people and sharing people's gifts and talents and highlighting amazing people. Kay, you have a completely different niche,
Yeah.
something that is unique, awesome, and so vital. I think it's so needed is quality, and it's about writing and pouring emotions. I have, my Piranha Unfiltered and doing what I'm doing over there. Where what I'm saying is we all got different platforms. We all still have different mindsets about different things. We can agree about some things and disagree without others without making each other feel, some type of way
Yeah.
because you look at something differently. Darion didn't make me feel bad for my interpretation of his poetry. I asked him a question. He succinctly gave it to me, clarified what he thought and felt about his work, and versus, what I took from it. So that's community. This is what a community would look like with several different people doing several different things, coming together for a common goal. And tonight's common goal was to discuss community, what that looks like, what that feels like. So I'm thankful for this community session with you all. And congratulations to you, sis, on this season. And I'm just so blessed to know you. And just thank you in advance again for having me and the rest of us here tonight to celebrate this with you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh
I
my
didn't.
gosh. Thank you guys, because you guys know I plan all of my stuff in advance. I knew I wanted to cover community in August. I knew I wanted to do that weeks, months ago, and I didn't have the people yet. And then something happened. And I met
I'm
the people that I wanted, and I was like, "Oh, I barely know these people, but the spirit is telling me this is
right.
this is it. This is where I'm going to find who's going to do it." And I don't know if you guys know, but I have a rule. I never plan things more than twice for as long as I've known people. I typically don't do that. So if I've known you for
Hmm.
only 2 weeks, I'm not going to plan anything out over a month with you.
Mm.
But I broke that rule. I broke that rule when I met you guys, because I just knew that this is what I wanted. This is what the spirit was telling me. And I'm so glad that I was obedient instead of covering this myself, because I could ramble on about this myself. But so much of what has been shared today is so important. I,
Definitely.
I do want to honor our listeners' time, even though this is so good. And we're going to do our something to sip on. I'm just going to play it once. And I want you guys to each share your second prompt for something to sip on, because I think that is something to sip on, which is how can we better serve the community?
Mm.
All right, so let's introduce our segment, something to sip on. All right, so we're going to go backwards this time. Black Mamba first. If you could, share with the community, because the tea lights in us are all a community. What
Yes.
what you were convicted of, or what you feel like or want to do to elevate your community.
Um, to elevate my community.
I know I'm just paraphrasing.
Um, no, no doubt, no doubt. Look, that's just me talking. Look, I have a tendency to talk to myself, and I'll do it out. Oh, I'm sorry, and I'll do it out loud just to make sure that I'm getting it together. But my answer for this, and I'll read my written answer because it's very short, and as you all can tell by tonight, and it's probably my fault that this is extended over longer. I run my mouth entirely too much, but for me, I can better serve my community through action, being present and accounting for, showing up for others and not just for my friends and family, through sharing love and light. And I feel like that's just simple enough for me. Action, like love, community is action. Community action is an action word. It takes action. What are things that I can do to be active in my
Mhm.
community? I don't have to be Malcolm X or Rosa Parks or, do some great revolutionary things. It's revolutionary enough that you want to be able to love on and pour into others that are around you simply because you love God's people. If you are a Christian, then you know it's very simple. And excuse me, I don't want to offend anybody, but when it comes to reading the Bible, everything that I've gotten from the Bible is just simply this. God's greatest commandments are what? To love him and to love each other, to love your neighbor. How you love God will manifest in how you treat his people. How
Mhm.
you treat his people is a direct reflection of your love for God. Now, love, that's obscure. Some people have no real idea about what love is, what real love looks like, feels like. So it's hard for people to get an understanding of anything if they don't even know what it is, what it means, what it looks like, what it feels like, especially if it's foreign. When you go to help someone in your community, they're always shocked and surprised. And I can't believe, you know what I'm saying, that you would do this for me, for somebody that you don't know, that you're treating me this way. Why are you so nice? What will it is that is your answer? Why are you being so nice? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for attention? Or are you doing it simply for goodness sake, because that's what you are called to do, simply because it's the right thing to do, the human thing to do, the decent thing to do, simply because you want a community that you can walk out in, interact in, live, work, and play in, that's safe, that's secure, that's welcoming. I live in the South and I grew up north all my life in Wisconsin, and the culture is something that's totally different than it is up north. And as a Black woman in the South, experiencing, racism on a different level here in Tennessee has been something to get used to. It was a culture shock. I'm used to community, up north, but down south, it just seems past that. The Bible Belt down here into the Bible Belt, these red states is something totally different in some of these communities. That's not that's not reflective of me and who I am. So what are some things that I can do to help make my community look better in that respect, for
Mhm.
example? Am I talking to people who are different from me ethnically? Am I just only interacting with melanated people? Um, think about those things. What are things that you can do to help show why it is that we should grow and interact, why it's okay for us to talk to virtual strangers, and no pun intended on virtual, but literal strangers, and be able to have a conversation or come to some type of solution or agreement about things. So, action is how I can elevate my community. Action is how I elevate my community. And action is how all of us can elevate our community.
Yes. Action. I love that. I love that. That's reflects the promise that Nikki wrote about.
No doubt.
All right, Darion, how can you better serve your community?
Well, first of all, to the tea lights out there, I first want to say, as Globe was speaking, what she said is she focused on her assignment, and that led her to this wonderful episode. And before I say my piece, don't accept the role and reject the responsibility. And so, this is some key things on how to best serve your community. And so, first, leverage your skills and resources. What are you distinguished at? What are your skills? What resources do you have, including but not limited to your network? Again, your net worth is determined by your network. Volunteer your time. Like we mentioned earlier, Galatians 6 and 9, do not get weary in well doing. Food pantries, shelters, community centers for the youth, mentorship programs, collaboration. Utilize your skill sets, collaborate with like minded individuals. Again, like we've said all episode, focus on the assignment, one common goal, one common mission. Promote your teachings. Knowledge is power. Seminars, workshops, and events. First step is to identify how you can help. Don't spread yourself too thin. The world needs your most authentic self and 100% of you. Again, don't half do it. 100% of you. Celebrate diversity, as Black Mamba was speaking on, and cling to feedback and improving. And always remember to stay consistent through the process of elevation. This has been Dark Law, and that is how you elevate within the community.
Amen. Okay, little bro, you better preach. That was I love the list. I can see the bullet points in my mind. Like I'm taking notes in my head. Thank you so much for that. Oh,
You're welcome.
thank you so much. I love how you even gave examples. Like when you said, share your knowledge, and you're like workshops, seminars. These are the different ways you can do it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Nikki, I'm gonna let you get to it.
Well, I might not be as long-winded as Darion and Mamba, but
Oh,
it has to be in you first. Everything that you want to do in your life has to automatically be in you, and you have to be true in yourself in order for you to elevate other people. You have to be your true self and own your truth. So it starts with you first. And once you get in the mind that, okay, I'm doing what I need to do, then you reach out to people and you start helping people. Every day on the Breaking in Silence is it's amazing. It's amazing because it started with me. It started with me owning my voice. It started me coming out of my shell. Then once I started coming out of my shell, I'm like, okay, all these good people out here doing great things. I want to shine a light on them. So when you start living and walking in your purpose, you know it. You'll know that you're walking and you're living your purpose. And that led to me being a full-time podcaster because I'm like, I want to do this every day, all day. I love doing this. So the way I'm going to continue to elevate people is to continue to pour into people, continue to support people, continue to check on people. Because
Mhm.
even as the host of Breaking the Silence, it doesn't just stop after they come off the Breaking the Silence platform. I'm
right.
constantly talking to my guests, checking on my guests, making sure they're okay, finding out what's going on new in their lives, finding out if something happens to them. I had a guest where both of his brothers were sick at the same time.
Mhm.
So I'm not just talking to them on the platform. I'm continuing to pour into them after they come off the platform, before they come on the platform. And
Right.
that's why when they come on the platform, they're so comfortable with Arthur, Nick, and Nicole because I'm already communicating with them from the moment they book. So you have to learn that everything that you do on your mission is action. It's a verb. Love is a verb.
Mhm.
And people oftentimes don't think that love is a verb, but you have to show people that you love them.
Amen.
A lot of people can tell you that they love you, but that don't mean they mean it. You
Mm,
have to pay attention to what they do, how they do it. And then that's how you can determine whether they love you or not. But I'm just going to
right.
continue to break the silence. And I'm glad that you invited me onto your platform tonight for the finale season. And I'm honored to be here.
Oof, thank you guys so much. It is so good. These are great nuggets. These you guys gave me so many great sound bites.
Yay.
I really enjoyed this conversation. It hit on everything I really wanted to talk about. As
Good.
I wrote originally 5 prompts for this episode and had to just narrow it down to 2. Uh, but the conversation explored all of the themes because this was I followed my assignment.
Amen.
And that is the beauty of it. When you follow your assignment, you do what you know you are meant to do.
Mm,
Everything else is going to fall in place. And even if people don't give to you in the same way, when you're fulfilling what you're supposed to do, you're going to be filled up.
amen.
You are going to feel this fullness
Well,
that no
Trust.
material can give you. No trophy, no recognition, no check can give you.
Mm,
It's a
mm,
different
mm,
kind of fullness when you know you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Sure enough is.
mm.
Yes.
well.
Thank you,
Yes. And
Lord.
it feels good.
It feels
Mm-hmm.
good
I've
to
been
Mm-hmm.
there.
witness. To
I've been there
witness.
Yep.
Oh,
Just keep on winning.
And
thank you
each
guys.
blessing feels like a new blessing, like a blessing for the first time.
for the
Like
first
you
time.
haven't been blessed before.
Every
Right.
And
time.
we've been blessed so many times in our life,
Yeah.
Lord.
That's
Thank
that
you.
favor. That's
Thank
that
you.
favor
Mhm.
over your life. That's that favor.
Girl.
And leave
And
love.
that humbleness
Mhm.
to know that it's like you look at it like a surprise, like Lord, the abundance, like and you know why, but even in that you're still humble.
Humble.
And it's beautiful to see and it's beautiful to witness and it's beautiful to feel. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy, Kay, that you've gotten to manifest and see your dreams, your goals come to fruition. Life, time is fickle. Time is a construct. I really truly believe that because you blink and we're here. Like you said, this is something you already knew in your spirit that you wanted to do back in the summer or the spring.
Spring.
You had said, and here we are now entering fall. And it seems like yesterday sometimes. But here we are, and how quickly it came. But when we're in the thick of it, it don't feel that way. We're in the thick of change and transformation and growing and doing things. It feels slow. You feel shiftless. You feel like there's no movement because you can't see it. We see puppies grow. We don't see children grow until just one day they're there and they're big. And you're like, how? How? Like, how did your feet grow 2 sizes, since last time I saw you, and bought some for you? And that's just how it is. You blink and here we are. But during that time it seems so far away. But now that you're here, it's over with now. It's on to the next manifestation, sis. I look forward to see what you have next for us come season 3.
Ooh, it's going to be a good one. I am very confident because, again, these are all convictions of what I need to explore. So I'm really excited about season 3. I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude for you guys blessing this platform and having a very honest conversation, not just a good conversation, but a very honest, vulnerable one with me, because I know how each and every one of you feel about community. So this just means so much to me, and I want people to be able to get in touch with you guys and stay connected with you all. So I'm going to allow you guys to let people know where to find you, listen to you, and keep connected with you. Um, and you guys know I always put this in the show notes as well, Tea Lights, but I'm going to let them say it for anyone who's listening, starting with Nikki.
All right. So Breaking the Silence podcast can be found on Facebook as Breaking the Silence podcast page, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, pretty much everywhere as Breaking the Silence 24. Come break the silence with me.
All right. Darian, I'm just going with my eyes.
Awesome. And so again, Dark Law here from the Creative Million Podcast. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Instagram at Decree Dominion 24, Facebook and TikTok as well as Dark Law Dominion 96. Black Garden series releases September 2024. So dating, relationships, marriage. Tune in September 2024. And then if you're a domestic violence survivor, anything mental health, go ahead and start tuning into Spotify now. And again, welcome all Tea Lights that just got copyrighted by Globe. It'll be starting in season 3. So
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure to be on Verbal Tea. Keep on winning, y'all. Again, don't accept the role without the responsibility. And I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in. My name is Mamba. I go by Black Mamba 98 in virtual spaces. You can find me as Black Mamba 98. That's BLAKKMOMBA, or as Mamba Raw and Unfiltered Podcast, which is available on all digital streaming platforms for your listening elevation. There's no place that you can't find me, and every platform that you can think of, including Threads, I am there. My podcast is spirit led. I record and create content when the spirit moves me to. I always want to make sure that when I'm speaking, I have something worth talking about, and I'm not just talking just for the sake of talking. And for the type of content that I do deliver, which is raw, unfiltered conversations with virtual strangers, literally, I have to move organically and authentically. So yeah, I just move when the spirit tells me to. I got a new episode that will be coming out soon, probably within the next couple of weeks. Look out for that. And it will be with someone Kay should get with maybe next time, hopefully soon, which is IEE, Energy Over Everything. And she creates personal journals. So I'm very much looking forward to that episode. Check me out. It's audio only. So, like I said, it's there for you to pick up and listen to whenever you see fit. Thank you so much for having me, Miss Kay. And I just pray nothing but success upon you and your platform and everything that you have going on, not just professionally, but personally too, sis. I love you.
Thank you. Love you back. I love you guys so much. And tea lights. I'm calling y'all that now.
No doubt. That
I,
too. That
I
too.
I love you all so much. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, hanging with us. Please rewind this, listen to it, break it down if you've got to. It's amazing conversation. I can't wait to revisit it as I come up with some good clips to share with you guys. You know, you can always stay in touch with us at Verbal Tea Time on Instagram and TikTok, and at Verbal Tea anywhere you stream podcasts and on Facebook. Until next time, you all, which won't be until October. Until October, you guys, please keep spending some intentional time with your thoughts and continue to focus on how to thrive instead of survive.
Mm.
All right, you guys, be well.